What's changed?
Well, I think it's simply two factors. Since 2000, our last wettest year, scientists have got a lot better at studying a changing climate. We've got better computer models, but also we've had just that many years when there's been more carbon in the atmosphere, it's been a warmer world, to explore those linkages, and they've got more confidence, and that's what one of our leading climatologists told me when I went to catch up with him a little bit earlier today. There's hardly anywhere that didn't flood last year. Tyneside had its share, as did Yorkshire and much of Wales.
Hello, fire service!
The West Country almost ground to a halt just before Christmas, and despite a memorable summer, its weather is probably best forgotten. And now it's official. 2012 was the second wettest year ever recorded in Britain, with well over a metre of rain.
What we've seen over the last 40 or 50 years is a trend towards a greater range of extremes of all kinds. And certainly we've had some very extreme high temperatures and some extreme droughts, but we've also seen an increasing frequency of very heavy rain and the flooding that comes from that. And I think that's something that's set to continue.
It's stopped raining, but much of Britain is still feeling the full force of these recent floods. And all this water after a year that began with the threat of a hosepipe ban. It's no wonder a lot of us have been thinking something weird is going on. And now the scientists agree. What we used to consider traditional British weather, it's a thing of the past.
The weather in the UK has already changed as a result of climate change, and one sees that very clearly in temperatures. The story with rainfall is a bit more complicated, and that's because there's a lot more variability in the processes that affect rainfall.
But research by Professor Sutton's team and others shows clear signals pointing to wetter weather emerging.
If you're looking at timescales of a few decades, then based on what we know at the moment, we do expect an increasing frequency of wet autumns and winters in particular. Summer is more complicated, and we have had a string of very wet summers, but we might see a flip back to having a sequence of drier summers.
So is it farewell to April showers and crisp, cold winters? Take the Worcestershire village of Sevenoaks, flooded out over Christmas. Both pub and church. Is nothing sacred?
We'd have to say yes at this moment because we're standing up to our knees in water. But I think you can't judge long-term weather on a short-term basis, you know.
I think we all think back of the wonderful summers that we used to have, but I'm not sure that they were as frequent as we always hoped they were, nor indeed that the snows always came in the winter. I think if there's anything to detect, it is actually the viciousness of the weather, perhaps the more stringent droughts and the wetter, longer periods of rain.
The global trend towards warmer temperatures is currently heading in only one direction. And predictions are improving too, like wetter winters and cycles of more extreme wet and dry summers. But don't ask a scientist if you'll need your wellies or not. The quintessential randomness of British weather will always be there.